Known as kalbi, Korean short ribs are one of that country's most celebrated dishes. The flavorful soy sauce-based marinade keeps the ribs juicy, tender, and very delicious. Traditionally, they're grilled tableside over charcoal or gas and served with steamed rice, bib lettuce, and kimchi, a hot and spicy accompaniment. What's really unique about them is how they're butchered. Soy sauce is the base of the marinade. 6 tablespoons, and I'll tell you more about the butchering of these delicious ribs in a second. Now, 2 tablespoons rice vinegar into the soy sauce. And 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. 2 tablespoons of apple juice. 2 teaspoons of sesame seeds. These are white sesame seeds. 2 teaspoons of garlic, very finely minced. And I don't know very many Korean dishes without a lot of garlic. 2 teaspoons of freshly grated ginger. This is the fresh ginger root. 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar. And 1/4 cup of scallions. And you can see they're cut very much on an angle, the green and white parts. Now just mix this all together. So this is enough marinade for 1½ pounds of the short ribs. Short ribs come in 2 ways, either cut between the bones, the most common type sold in the supermarkets, or cut into strips across 2 to 4 adjacent rib bones called flanken style. This is 1 bone, 2, 3, and part of 1 is 4. I think these are very interesting, and the thin strips of flanken short ribs are sold as Korean style short ribs. That's how they are known. So immerse them, 1½ pounds, in your lovely, fragrant, spicy marinade. And turn these over. And I like to get them completely coated with this delectable juice. And generally, when you think of short ribs, you think of braising short ribs, but these are cut so thinly that grilling them is just a perfect way to prepare them. So cover these. I like using plastic wrap, and refrigerate 8 hours or overnight is even better. So just lay your marinated ribs right on the griddle pan. Oh, they smell so delicious. That combination of soy sauce and garlic and scallion. And you want to serve these with rice, kimchi, and lettuce cups. Put a little bit of rice in the cup and a little bit of kimchi in the cup. And this is a fantastic, hot and spicy, pungent Korean dish made with fermented vegetables, primarily cabbage. And so a little bit goes a long way of kimchi. These cook so nicely, and they are so tender. And you see how quickly they cook. It's lovely. And so you can just put your cooked ribs on a platter and let guests help themselves. This is a very interesting and unusual way to serve bone-in Korean ribs. So beautiful. Finish them all up and sit down and enjoy. So, what a colorful presentation this is. Korean short ribs, a great use of a cut of meat that most would think had to be braised for hours. Kebabs are thought to have originated with ancient Middle Eastern cooks who, out of necessity, had to devise a way of cooking meat with limited fire. Their solution was to thread small pieces of meat onto skewers, which cook faster than larger ones. As you'll see in this recipe for curry yogurt marinated lamb kebabs, they cook in no time at all. So we have 1 cup of Greek yogurt, unflavored, could be low fat or regular. Add to that 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, 2 tablespoons of finely chopped onion, and I'm mixing this whole dressing right in the same pan in which the lamb and the vegetables will marinate. Some honey, very nice, a half a teaspoon of honey, Greek honey if you have it. This is my own honey. The zest of 1 lime. We're making a very flavorful marinade. Lamb just takes flavors really, really well. We also want the juice of half of a juicy lime. If your lime is kind of dry, use the whole lime. It's pretty, so you can cut your lime in half and juice it right into this mixture. And always zest before you try to juice it. Be pretty hard to zest that. Some salt and pepper. Oh, 2 tablespoons of fresh mint chopped. And some curry powder, half a teaspoon. Get a nice flavorful fresh curry powder. Important that it be fresh. Spices do tend to get old, do tend to lose their potency, their flavor, and they also get rancid. So I think that's it for our marinade. Cut the meat into 1.5-inch cubes. This is boneless leg of lamb. Some of the pieces may be slightly smaller, then you can put 2 pieces together. But isn't that gorgeous, gorgeous lamb? Oh, so beautiful. You can cook these on a griddle pan right in your kitchen. You can also do them on a gas grill or on a wood-fired grill. Just be sure that you don't have the fire so hot that the kebabs burn. You want to cook them fast but tenderly. So here we have the lamb all cut up. Pretty, isn't it? This is going to marinate for at least 8 hours in the refrigerator, and you can do it overnight too. Now I'm cutting these, I call this quarter cut. Keep turning the squash a quarter turn so you're getting an odd shape, and always cut off the end like that, like that. It gives more surface area and it's prettier and chunkier. And the same with the yellow squash. And they all end up kind of being the same size, which is nice. And if you wish, a tiny bit more salt can be sprinkled and a little bit more pepper. Cover and refrigerate. So now here's lamb that has marinated with the squash 8 hours. Make sure that the pieces are all about the same size and don't crowd the skewers. Bamboo skewers like these are readily available in supermarkets and cooking supply stores, and they should be soaked in water before you use them. It prevents them from burning once they're on a griddle pan like this or on a grill. I also like sometimes to use these beautiful rosemary branches. If you have a big rosemary plant or have access to rosemary that's growing quite large, you can use this because it's a woody stem. Just make sure that you cut the ends of these branches with scissors so you make a little point. Now to make a rosemary skewer, take a branch and just strip the leaves right off. They come off so easily, and oh, are they a fragrant, wonderful skewer. And these two can sit in a little bit of water until you're ready to use them. So now skewer meat. We're going to cook all the meat on the rosemary, and I'm going to do all the meat together and the vegetables together so that everything cooks in the same amount of time. So per person, I would say 4 pieces of meat. I'm going through the meat through the longest side, exposing the largest bit of meat to the heat. Now this can be done before your guests arrive so you're not there with dirty hands skewering kebabs. And now for the vegetables, you can use the bamboo and go also through the squash. And this can be done alternating colors. So now just lay your kebabs on your grill or your griddle. And look how pretty these look on the rosemary. These are best eaten as soon as they're done, but they can be made in advance also and kept warm. And they take about 4 minutes per side, so stay nearby and cook away. So once they've cooked about 4 minutes per side, just remove them to a platter and enjoy. These look so great, and I'm sure you're going to love their taste. Today, we're going to do something that usually Girl Scouts do, or at least they've been doing since I can remember, and since this little book, Tramping and Trailing with the Girl Scouts, was published in 1927. We called the Girl Scouts and asked them for an old book with the first recipe for s'mores, because Connor loves s'mores, right, Connor?
Yep.
And we're going to make a non-classic s'more, one that I think you could serve at a dinner party. And we're going to call it our cookie of the week, gooey, mouth-watering s'mores. Connor now you have to really do this vigorously, so you crush the graham crackers. We need to crush 18 graham crackers into crumbs, 1.5 cups. So finish that. We're going to add 5 tablespoons of sugar. This is our crust for under a very special version of the old camp favorite, s'mores. And we've melted 9 tablespoons of unsalted butter, which I am going to pour right into our graham cracker crust. I need a little bit more of those graham crackers. So now this gets added to our already crushed ones. And this is pretty much the crust. What you're doing is just making graham crackers a little richer and a little finer. And this is pretty much the same kind of crust that you would make if you were going to make a key lime pie. Ever make that?
Yeah, my mom did.
Oh, she does. Does she make a graham cracker crust like this? Do you know?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably. Cheesecake sometimes has a graham cracker crust like this. So you stir this, and we're going to put this in a big Pyrex baking dish. Can I have that? That's already been buttered. And Connor, you're going to really spread this out. Now you press this down really hard.
Yep.
Get that really compact, and then you bake it in the oven. And we've already baked one at 350 degrees until the crust is set. That takes about 15 to 20 minutes. Let it cool, and then you add your chocolate. This is 1 pound of the very best chocolate melted. Look how good that looks, Connor. And we're going to add to the chocolate some butter. We're going to add 8 tablespoons. May I have that butter over there?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you. I have my broiler all ready, heating, because that's going to be the last step in this process. You do whatever you have to do to get it really, really flat. Once the butter is melted into the chocolate, then you spread this mixture over your graham cracker crust.
This is a little flatter.
Yeah, okay, that works very nicely. Good. Do you remember when you had your first s'more?
I think that was in Rangeley, Maine.
In Rangeley, Maine. And did you cook it out over the fire?
Yep.
That's the best place. Do you go to Maine in the summertime?
Yep.
Oh, you do? Where do you go? Rangeley?
Yep.
Where's that?
That's, it's on a lake.
On a lake? Using an offset spatula, spread this chocolate into the graham crackers. Just spread it right over that graham cracker crust. We're going to have a lot of s'mores here. Do you actually get to go camping?
Yeah, sometimes in Maine we do.
Uh-huh.
I think it's flattening.
That looks good. I'm going to put that right in the oven. I'm going to get this into the fridge. It should stay in for about 30 minutes, Connor, until the chocolate is nice and firm. You could do it faster in the freezer, but don't leave it in. You don't want it frozen. How's that? Does that look good?
Yep.
Yummy. Want to taste that? Good?
Yep.
Now chill this. Now this has already been chilled. The chocolate is firm, not icy cold. And we're going to cut this into 12 squares. So we have to really press down hard. Oh, I love this Pyrex because you know what? You can cut it and it will not break this dish. Thank you. There. So this looks like they're going to come out we're going to. So you have really a very wonderful cookie. You could eat these as cookies, just like this. But for a special treat, we are going to make 6 s'mores. 1 for you, and 1 for me. Oh, I'll get this one out first. Look at these. Have you ever had anything like this?
No.
No, this is pretty cool. Pretty cool cookie of the week, we call it. Okay, now, right away, we top this with our marshmallow. And we put this under the preheated, yes, good idea. Can you reach?
There we go.
So Connor, these have to go under the broiler until they're just lightly golden brown. While I do that, would you like to roast a marshmallow your way?
Sure.
Here, a fork for you. A marshmallow for you. And you can toast it. And you can see how even these marshmallows are. Aren't they great?
Yep.
Your marshmallow looks great. Let's see it. Perfecto. And look at these. Our cookie of the week, thanks to Connor. What are they called?
S'mores.
Today I've decided to transform the nostalgic combination of chocolate, marshmallow, and graham cracker from Campfire Classic to an elegant dessert that we're calling some mousses. That's a play on words for what we're going to create. So first, the base, which is the crust. And it's take 1 package, 1/3 of a box of graham crackers, break them up a little bit into a food processor. And in here, add 1/3 of a cup of sugar and 1/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour. Don't forget the salt, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, because we're using unsalted butter and salt brings out the delicious flavors. Grind this up a little bit, pulse a little bit, it gets them ground up well. Okay, and then add your butter. 6 tablespoons of chilled butter cut into like 1/4-inch pieces. And again, do the pulsing thing. You just want crumbly. That looks good. And then this can be put on a baking sheet lined with parchment. Make sure your oven's preheated to 350 degrees. Just spread it around. Put that in the oven, 10 minutes. In a small bowl, we're going to melt 3 ounces of milk chocolate. We're just creating a little double boiler here. If you have a double boiler, of course you can use it. The steam from the boiling water will heat the bowl and melt the chocolate. So our crumb mixture has been in the oven for 10 minutes. Just break it up a little bit to make sure that it really is drying out. And let it stay in for another 10 minutes or so. So our crumb mixture is done. We're going to put it in a bowl so we can mix the crumbs with the chocolate. We're making a mixture kind of like granola. And then pour the chocolate right into the crumbs. So you're going to have sort of a chocolatey graham cracker crust. And this is now going to be put into the bottom of each of the molds. And you can use a 1/4 cup ice cream scoop to measure out. And this makes 8 samousas. These are 3-inch rings. And to make sure that this really does become a crust, use a jar that fits inside and press. Transfer these to a refrigerator until they're nice and set. So in another heat-proof bowl, melt 4 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate and 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and just get that nice and melted. We have some egg whites that I'm beating up into a froth, 4 egg whites, and just a little pinch of salt. The chocolate mixture, after we add 4 egg yolks and some gelatin, will be folded into the egg whites. And we also have half a cup of heavy cream, lightly beaten. Our chocolate is beautifully melted. You can stir the softened gelatin right into the chocolate. 1 teaspoon of gelatin that's been softened with 1 tablespoon of cool water. Seems to be good. And then we're going to add the egg yolks. Whisk the egg yolks right into the chocolate. And now we can add our egg whites. Lightly mix the chocolate mixture a little bit with a little bit of the egg whites. And you can now get your crusts out of the refrigerator because we're going to put this mousse right into the molds on top of the crusts. Last thing to fold in is the softly whipped cream. The cream just adds another element of richness and taste to the mousse itself. And maybe if you weren't watching, I'd lick the spatula. So each mold will take about 6 tablespoons. Now these have to go right into the refrigerator and chill until set. That's going to take at least 2 hours. So we're making a Swiss meringue topping for our samousas. And Swiss meringue requires you to heat the egg whites with the sugar until you cannot feel any grains of sugar in the mixture. Beat these to a beautiful frothy cloud. You can add a teaspoon of vanilla. This is 3 egg whites, 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And we will also add 1 teaspoon of cornstarch after peaks form. To have better control over the meringue, I'm going to put the meringue into a piping bag fitted with a 1/2-inch round tip. Now it's gotten nice and thick. I'm just going to add the cornstarch, give it a little bit more body. I think we have the meringue we want. We don't want any air pockets visible when we remove the rings because we want this to be sort of a stacked dessert. So now with your offset spatula, just level off the meringue. Chill for at least an hour. So now we're at the point of unmolding our samousas. It's a simple way to do this. Have an overturned jar or glass that is smaller than the ring, and very gently just push like that to pull off the ring. Using a kitchen torch, brown the tops of the meringues and serve immediately. These are guaranteed to please a crowd for young and old alike at your next party. We always joke, light a fire without the New York Times. Take single sheets of newspaper and twist them, crumpling them up, laying about, I do it in the fireplace this size, about 6 sheets of paper right underneath the fire dogs. Next, you can add fat wood. This is a very resinous kind of wood. It's sold by little bundles, and it is generally pine that has turned resinous. I'll use about 3 pieces, maybe 4, right over the paper. I also have been doing a little bit of construction, so I have some pieces of wood that I can use as kindling. Make sure you don't crowd it too much. You want that circulation that's so very important. Scrap wood is awfully good, but never use dirty wood, painted wood, or coated wood, or stained wood. It's very important not to burn those fumes in your house. And then, if you're pretty sure that everything's dry and will light well, you can add a couple pieces of your actual firewood. Actual firewood should be split, it should be dry, it should be aged. And I prefer using something like hickory, oak, maple. You can also use fruit wood. It's wonderful, like apple wood or cherry wood. It gives a nice aroma to the fire. Stack it like that, and then the next layer, once the fire gets to burn, you can add 2 more logs this way. So it's kind of the log cabin effect. So strike on the box and light your fire. I like to light the front and the sides as far towards the back as possible. Once the wood catches fire, then you can add your other logs. And then sit back and enjoy the fire. Here in our test kitchen, we use 6,000 pounds of sugar, about 5,000 pounds of flour, 1,000 pounds, I think, of chocolate, and about 1,800 pounds or so of butter, unsalted butter. Sarah Carey, our food editor, is busy with the rest of the crew here in the kitchen developing and testing.
Eating.
Yes, of course. And today, Sarah has been developing a most delicious topping for the Triscuit cracker.
Oh, yeah.
You can use the original Triscuit cracker for this, or you can use the toasted coconut and sea salt Triscuit cracker that we've developed right here in our kitchen.
So delicious
It
and
is.
perfect for this treat, actually.
Yeah, it really is. So it's pretty easy, right?
Yeah, oh, totally. You take a square of milk chocolate.
Right.
Any kind of candy bar will do. Not too thick, won't melt.
Okay.
And you place it on one of your Triscuit crackers. It's based on like a s'more.
Yeah. Campfire
One of your
dessert.
favorites.
I love.
Yeah, so this is right up your alley. Cut your marshmallows in half and
Okay.
then cut side down on top of the chocolate.
So the stickiness sticks.
Exactly. These get a little bit brown in the broiler, so I'll put
So
them
they're
in
pretty
for about
too.
30 seconds.
Okay, I can't wait to see. This is a very fun, easy to make summertime treat. Great for the kids.
And you
at
can make a
birthday
lot at one time because
Yeah.
you can just arrange them all, get them ready, and then when you want them, you just put them under the broiler
Right.
until it melts. Oh, they're ready.
Ah, gorgeous.
Beautiful. And then you can put almonds right on the top.
Oh, they're soft
And
and
they get
puffy.
nice and soft.
Serve them right away. Well, I'll arrange them on the
Okay.
tray.
These are one of my kids' favorite
Oh.
treats.
Now, I call this delicious, delectable chalk alma marshskit.
Chalk alma marshskin.
Yeah.
I like it.
What do you like on your skin? Enjoy. I love to eat Asian food, so when I'm looking to prepare a light and simple meal, I often go to the What's for Dinner section of Martha Stewart Living magazine. And this recipe for a wonderful lemongrass beef skewers is so easy to make that I thought I'd share it with everybody today. And so to get started, we will make the marinade for the beef. And the marinade uses an ingredient, and we were just looking it up because I wanted to make sure I say it right. This is called fish sauce. And you buy this in the Asian section of the grocery store, fish sauce. But looking up in our Food Lover's Companion, which is a great source book, by the way, and I hope you all have this. This is published by Barron's, and comprehensive definitions of nearly 6,000 food, drink, and culinary terms. So you look up fish sauce, and in Thai, it's nam pla. In Vietnamese, it's nung nam, and it's patis in the Philippines. And it's basically a liquid made out of dried fish, and it's stinky. But so you don't really just eat it by itself, but it is the most amazing flavoring, and many of that unusual flavor that you find in Thai and in Vietnamese cooking is generally from this wonderful fish sauce. So don't spill it on your clothes, and mix it in with all the other ingredients. This is a lemongrass sauce, and lemongrass looks like this when you buy it in the grocery stores. It's really hard and really tough, and you use generally the bottom part of it, the bottom 3 inches or so. It grows in dense clumps up to 2 meters in diameter and up to 1 meter long. And it can be dried and powdered or used fresh like this. And it seems like so hard that you really couldn't use it, but use it in these marinades for flavoring, use it in soups and in curries. It's widely used in Asian and Caribbean cooking. And actually, if you take this home and stick this in a pot of dirt, you will grow yourself a small crop of lemongrass. I've done that on the windowsill, and then I have fresh lemongrass. You can use even the leaves when it's very, very young for flavoring. So this has been chopped up very fine, 3-inch pieces of the bottoms of the stalk, and very finely chopped, and that's what it looks like. It looks almost like a chopped shallot, but it's not at all the same consistency. 2 tablespoons plus 1 teaspoon of a light brown sugar, and 3 tablespoons of the nung nam, or the nam pla, which is that stinky fish sauce, and 1 clove of garlic, very finely minced, and 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. And you can use safflower oil, or you could use olive oil, or you can use grapeseed oil, some good quality oil. Mix this all up. And this is going to be the marinade for the strips of beef that are going to be skewered. And you can buy just a very nice boneless meat. You want to cut against the grain. And we have all of this, 1 pound of the boneless sirloin already sliced up, about in pieces like that. About a quarter, less than an eighth of an inch thick. And do this a couple hours before you plan to use your beef, or you can do this even overnight, but at least 20 minutes. That's what the recipe calls for. Stir this around. We have our grill, this wonderful ribbed grill plate. This is great on top of a gas stove, and that's heated up. So let that sit at least 20 minutes, and if you're going to be slicing the meat against the grain, look for the grain and go across the grain. And you can do this with a knife. I find that it works really, really well if you slightly freeze the meat a little bit before you slice it. It really cuts very, very quickly and evenly with a sharp knife. So we have some that's already marinated, and it's right here. And your bamboo skewers should be soaked in water. It prevents them from burning when you're using them, even on a grill pan. And so just go in and out. You're going to sew the beef onto the skewer. Oh, by the way, we have our water boiling. I guess I should put the noodles in. These are the rice noodles. I love these so much, and these are called rice vermicelli. And these are going to take about 4 minutes to cook in a large pot of boiling water, and only 4 minutes. Don't overcook these rice noodles. Stir that around a little tiny bit, and keep skewering your beef. I put 2 or 3 pieces on a skewer, and spread it out so that you have the similar amount of meat on each skewer, like this, and then get them on your grill pan and start them cooking. This is such an easy dinner, and is so delicious. And you'll think that you have taken a little trip to the local Vietnamese restaurant, if you happen to have one in your neighborhood, but many of us don't. In my neighborhood, it's hard to find this kind of food, and it is so utterly delicious. I'm always looking for it. Here in New York, of course, it's easy to find. And you just put these on the grill. And it really takes 1 minute per side. In the meantime, we have to finish our rice noodles with scallions and herbs. I'm going to make a little sauce that's going to be poured over the noodles. Half a cup of water, 3 tablespoons of lime juice, another quarter cup of the stinky fish sauce, and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Again, a light brown sugar is good. And 1 teaspoon, I'll stir this first, and 1 teaspoon of sliced red chilies. Use the red chilies because they're pretty and they are authentic, so it's right for this dish. That can sit just a few minutes. Here are the rice noodles. Now that 8 ounces has cooked up into this big mass of beautiful noodles. And we have 3 leaves of crispy, like Bib lettuce, just julienned. We have, or chiffonaded actually. We have 1 carrot cut into small little strips, 1/4 cup of basil leaves. Basil is one of those herbs that's very popular in Vietnamese cooking. And you have mint leaves, another popular flavoring. And in a pan, just put about 1/4 cup of vegetable oil and saute quickly 4 scallions, the green parts especially, very thinly cut, and 1 clove of garlic. Just get it a little bit soft. I'm going to take these off this griddle. I think they are done. This is going to be so delicious. Really, really pretty. And it really takes no time at all. And this is just the kind of food that I think even children love because it's exotic. And a lot of kids really are into the exotic. So here's your skewers. This is finished. Oops. Get that right into your noodles. So beautiful. And so now just toss your beautiful noodles. I love the colors here. Such a wonderful combination of orange, pale green, dark green, and white. And here's your noodles ready to put out on a platter. And you can put a little bit of your chili sauce on top of the noodles. Don't leave anything on your counter. So this is ready. It's so pretty. And there you have your noodles, your wonderful skewers, your sauce. And a very nice way to serve these is to use a lettuce cup with your skewer like that, a serving of the noodles. Might be getting a little bit too many noodles here. Let's see. I remember in China, I had to stand on a chair to get the noodles off the platter. They all laughed at me. But they're very long here. There we go. Those are such delicate noodles. A little sprinkling of the sauce, very flavorful sauce, and top the whole thing off with just a spoonful or two of chopped peanuts. And there you have a really authentic dish in a matter of minutes. I always love this one dish that they serve at the Bombay Bar and Grill, and it is the chicken Malai kebab. Oh, wow. The first time I ate it here, I was just amazed. The pieces of chicken were so large, boneless chicken. The meat was so white and so flavorful. And you say it's chicken cooked in yogurt or sour cream.
Yes.
Marinated and then cooked.
Yeah.
Well, show us how you do it, because...
Yes. Here we have the chicken,
yeah,
2 pounds of chicken already cut.
So you can see what nice pieces of chicken. Icy cold.
We only use white meat. We don't use
just the boneless, skinless breast.
Breast meat, yeah.
Okay.
So we are going to add now ginger garlic paste into this.
Okay.
That is
so
1 tablespoon of
ginger and garlic.
Yeah. See, ginger garlic, it gives flavor, and it helps in marination also, so that the chicken, it acts as a tenderizer too.
Okay.
1 tablespoon of ginger garlic.
And I'll do the stirring up. Okay.
And
so you can make your own ginger garlic paste.
Yeah, this is
half and half?
Half and half, yeah.
Okay, fresh
ginger and fresh garlic.
Okay.
And then we make a paste into it. Then we're going to add garam masala.
Okay,
now,
garam
this
masala.
is garam masala is...
Yes, show us what it is.
This is the masala. Garam masala, no, these are cardamoms.
Okay.
Green cardamoms.
So you heat up these spices in a frying pan.
Yeah. So this is 1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon of cardamom pods. Okay.
And we use a few bay leaves, like one sprig of bay leaf is enough.
Okay.
And half a teaspoon of
whole
cloves.
And every single Indian household has its own mix. This is your personal mix.
Yeah, right.
Okay. And black pepper?
Black pepper. We don't want to use much because it will hot, because
overpower.
Overpower the other flavors.
Okay.
So just maybe 4 or 5. And this is like cumin seed.
Yes. So a teaspoon.
Yeah. And half a teaspoon of coriander seeds.
Okay.
These are coriander
seeds.
And 1 stick of cinnamon. And for this amount of portion, half of nutmeg we can use. We can break it and put it out here.
Oh, okay.
And then what normally we do, we roast it in a very slow fire. So once we start getting the aroma of the flavors, once it's getting roasted, and then we let it cool down a bit for let it stand for 5 minutes.
Yes.
And then we
grind it
in
the spice grinder.
This is the final version. It comes up like
beautiful.
this.
So how much of that do we use?
So we are going to use 1 teaspoon of garam masala.
Okay.
We don't have to use more because otherwise it will be too much of flavor, Okay. So it said nearly 1 teaspoon of that.
And the smell is great already.
And this is cashew paste.
Okay.
Cashew nut. We just soak it in water and let it stand for 10 minutes, and then we put it in the blender. And
that's it? No salt? No nothing?
No, nothing. Only cashews.
Okay.
So we're going to add 1/4 cup.
No wonder this is such a good dish.
That is nearly and then we add sour cream in it.
Okay.
1 cup of
1 cup.
Sour cream. We have to add for seasoning salt.
Salt.
Salt,
Okay.
1 teaspoon. And then we add a very little this white pepper.
Okay. Just plain white pepper ground,
Yeah, this is plain white pepper.
which is very fragrant.
And then this is saffron.
That is so beautiful from the crocus
Yeah,
flower.
yeah. We have to soak it in lukewarm water.
To get all the flavor.
Yeah, all the flavor into the water, and it becomes like this.
Oh, beautiful. So you use
So
all that here?
this will give the color to the chicken, and at the same time it will add to the flavor.
Certainly will.
Can you cut a half a lemon, please,
Of
for me?
course.
Yeah, and then you squeeze the lemon. And if it becomes too thick, if it does not stir, just to for the marination to emulsify, you can add cream.
Well, there's
Easier
always
to-
a good reason in Indian cooking for adding more and more of the most
Yeah,
delicious
we can-
ingredients.
Right.
So now,
So-
how long should we marinate this chicken?
It should be nearly for 2 hours.
For 2 hours, in the refrigerator?
Yes.
Okay. So we're back at the tandoor oven, and now we have to put these on skewers, right?
Yeah.
How many pieces?
4 pieces. You have to do like this. From the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, we can even do this with lamb cubes, and even with in America a lot of beef is used. They can marinate it in the same way and
Right.
do it. Any other meat products, If you don't keep a distance between the pieces, then the side.
Oh, so you're way up on
yeah,
the skewer too.
Yeah, and you have to pull it further down because we are gonna put the skewers like this.
Okay.
You have to hold it from here.
Oh, from the point.
Point the point, and then place it like this so that it is inside the oven.
Okay.
The chicken pieces.
There.
Yes.
How long do you let it cook?
Yeah, we let it cook for nearly 20 minutes.
Okay.
And the temperature should be between 300 to 350. For substitute for the oven, you can use the barbecue grill or the home grill at home.
But nothing works as well
Yeah,
as
because
the
this
tandoori
has,
oven.
it's something very different because of the clay.
So these look done, don't they?
Yeah, they are done now. So
What
you see
an
the
easy
color?
way to cook, and what a beautiful color. They look great. So what do you do with these now? Just
Yeah, we just...
Oh, you hang them right here on the pipe?
Yeah.
Here's a plate.
And this.
Oh, how beautiful. So these are tender and plump and juicy, and they look delicious. And this is just a little bit of chopped lettuce?
Yeah, chopped lettuce.
So we'll put a little bit around?
Yeah, we can, for garnishing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's around here. And a slice of lemon.
And some coriander.
Yeah.
What a colorful and light dish. And I think, you know what this needs? A
Yes.
spicy okra dish.
Okay.
What a great light dish. These gigantic head-on shrimp are very delicious when marinated and grilled, and they make a very impressive presentation. However, you don't have to use shrimp this large. This recipe would work just as well with any large or extra large shrimp. Grilling is easy. I'll show you how. First, we clean the shrimp. And to clean a shrimp with the shell on, we cut down the back of the shrimp with a sharp knife, just through the shell. And then open it up a little bit and take out the intestinal tract. And that's really what this is down the back. So rinse them well in cold water. And put them in one layer in a glass dish. We're going to now prepare the marinade and leave these overnight. For the marinade, lemongrass. This is a really delicious marinade with a very lovely flavor. Use the white part of the lemongrass. It's quite tough, and so use a good sharp knife to cut it into slices. And these slices will flavor the marinade. So here's your lemongrass, some coriander seeds, a teaspoon of coriander seeds, 3 or 4 dried red chilies, some slices of lime, approximately a half a lime sliced, and some cloves of garlic. And you can just smash them. You can hear them break, and you smash them like that. And put that right in too. And then a half a cup of vegetable oil. And then pour this all over the shrimp. Cover with some plastic wrap and marinate overnight. And here are the marinated shrimp. They smell excellent. A generous sprinkling of pepper and salt. The skewers I have soaked in water. It prevents the skewers from burning if you do that. And then just skewer right from the head to the tail like that. And put them right on the hot part of your grill. The straight skewer is very good because it does prevent them from curling up. If you put this on without a skewer, the shrimp would curl up into a little round. So pretty. These should take just a few minutes, 3 to 4 minutes to grill through. Now, of course, I'm doing this on an indoor griddle pan, but you can do this on an outdoor grill. Just don't char these to death because they'll cook too fast and they will be really dry if you overcook them. So there, they are looking very good. Oh, look at the great color they're turning. When grilling or broiling shrimp is very easy because unlike some shellfish, shrimp never stick to the grill, especially when you have the shells intact as we do. And grilling shrimp in their shells like this keeps them moist and tender. 8 minutes, perfectly done. 4 minutes per side. And there is, and serve them hot. Serve with a frosty margarita. Your guests are going to love them. Now we're going to spatchcock a chicken. This funny word, spatchcocking, is believed to be an abbreviation of dispatch the cock, which was shorthand for prepare the chicken for roasting over a spit. I just find it very amusing, and everyone loves to think of what does spatchcocking mean and what does it do? Well, I'm going to show you. I have 2 ways to spatchcock when you keep the breast in the center by taking out the backbone, and this is very easy to do if you have a good pair of kitchen shears. Just cut along the side of the backbone. Takes a little bit of elbow grease, and you remove the entire backbone. This backbone will go right into the stock pot, so don't feel bad, you're not wasting it. There. Well, we'll put it here now, and that'll go into the stock pot. And then you will flatten the chicken like this and press down on the breastbone, and that is a spatchcocked bird. And so it's all pretty even. You can trim the skin if you like, but I love skin so much that I leave all the skin on. And that is one version of a spatchcocked chicken. And then there is the other way, which some restaurants prefer to do, which is cutting down the breast. Cutting this right in half along the breastbone and through the wishbone. And it makes a very different looking object. Now you can take this breastbone out. I don't know if you've seen the breastbone, but this is what it looks like. This is a piece of grizzly bone that holds that part of the breast out. That's the breastbone. And so now you can flatten this, and it looks like that. And you can tuck the wings under. And this too cooks very nicely. So you can choose. You can do both if you're doing more than one chicken. So we're going to make a nice marinade by putting 1 medium onion into a blender jar with 1/2 cup of parsley, 2 teaspoons of thyme, 2 tablespoons of sage, the skin from half of a lemon, 2 cloves of garlic, and 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. Make sure you get all that olive oil out. And just blend this until it makes a nice thick paste. It's a nice green color. Gorgeous. It smells so good. There. So now this is going to go first under the breast of the chicken, and you can put the chicken right in a resealable plastic bag. This chicken is going to stay in here for 8 hours or overnight. It just really makes the meat extremely flavorful. Loosen the skin from the breast and use your rubber spatula to insert this right under the skin. And then the rest of the marinade can just go right into the bag, front and back. Seal up the bag, put this on a tray, and refrigerate. So this is the fun part, wrapping the bricks. This chicken, the spatchcocked chicken, is cooked under bricks. And you don't want to put just a raw brick on top of your chicken. So wrap it in aluminum foil, roll it in a piece of heavy-duty aluminum, sealing the brick in completely. And then oil the brick a little bit before you lay it on top of your bird. So for a chicken this size, you really do need 2 bricks. And these are reusable. You can use them over and over again. Just change the foil. The chicken itself, well, it's been wiped clean of the excess marinade, and rub a little bit of oil on it. You need to prevent it from sticking on the grill. We're using a grill pan that sits right on top of the stove, and a tiny bit of olive oil on the grill pan too. You can do this in the oven. You can do this on a grill outside. Now just pick up your chicken, put it skin side down, and apply your bricks. The bricks really are to hold it flat and promote even cooking. Now, if you don't have bricks, and many of us don't, you can use a large skillet, oil the bottom, and you can weight it down with cans and other heavy things. So it's been 30 minutes on the skin side. Just remove the bricks and turn the chicken over if it releases easily from the grill. And this one is releasing very nicely. So whichever way you feel comfortable churning it with a pair of tongs and a fork, such as this. Doesn't that look amazing? So great. Oh, I love it. And now put the bricks back on. And finish cooking. It might take another 20 to 30 minutes, but test with your instant read thermometer to 165 degrees. If you don't have one of these wonderful stovetop grill pans, you should really get one. They really work well. Great for hamburgers too, because all the fat melts off and goes down in those little gullies. So we're going to continue to cook this for another 20 to 30 minutes. Now, once your chicken is perfectly cooked, just let it cool for about 10 minutes. Not really cool, but rest. This will let the juices redistribute. You can carve it on the board, or you can put it on a platter like this. Garnish it with a few halves of lemon, a little flaky salt on top, a little squeeze of lemon juice overall. And you have a very simple technique which will give you perfectly cooked chicken each and every time. It is a new old way to cook chicken. See you next time. Enjoy.